Welcome in Dakor. Did you know there's a mountain so fatal that nearly 1 in 3 climbers who reach the top never make it back down? It's called Annapurna 1, and it's like the evil twin of Mount Everest. Standing at over 26,500 feet, it's nature's version of a booby trap. Most mountains are dangerous on the way up, but this one it waits until you're heading back down just when you think you're safe. Annapurna is named after the Hindu deity of food and nourishment. That's fitting since the mountain feeds rivers that water crops in the valleys below. But the irony kicks in at the summit where it turns from life-giver to life-taker, serving up avalanches, collapsing ice walls, and falling rocks like it's auditioning for a disaster movie. Climbers have called it unpredictable, unstable, and straight-up unforgiving. At one point, Annapurna's fatality rate was around 32%, which sounds terrifying. In the last decade or so, thanks to better gear and satellite weather tracking, that number went down, but it's still close to 20%, which is chilling. By the time climbers start heading down, they're already exhausted, oxygen-deprived, and often racing against sudden weather shifts. That's when decision-making and footing fall apart. On Annapurna, making it to the top doesn't mean you've made it. It just means you've triggered the second half of the boss fight, and you're now playing with low health and no save point. Oh, and your stamina bar is gone. Your gear is breaking and someone has turned off the music. It's the kind of climb that makes seasoned mountaineers rethink their life choices mid-descent. But if you think that's bad, wait till you meet its colder, meaner cousin, K2. Located in Pakistan, this one doesn't even pretend to like you. And it's so notorious that Hollywood made movies about it. At over 28,200 feet, K2 is nicknamed the Savage Mountain. And that seems like an understatement. Hey, the weather changes faster than my Spotify playlist with extreme storms that can last for days. The mountain is basically a vertical obstacle course made of ice, rock, and regret. It's like someone built a Ninja Warrior course straight up in a snowstorm and forgot to mention there's no prize money, just bragging rights and frostbite. At that height, when you're over 26,000 feet, you're in what professionals call the lethal zone. Sounds dramatic, I know, because it is. There's only about a third of the oxygen you get at sea level, and your body basically starts giving up the longer you stay up there. It's impossible for a human being to adapt to these conditions. Most climbers bring bottled oxygen, but it's heavy, limited, and not exactly foolproof. Drop a canister, that's your backup plan gone. And there's the cold. Like minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit cold, frozen fingers, frozen gear, frozen brain. Helicopters can't reach the higher camps. So, if things go south, you're not getting airlifted out. The final obstacle before the summit is called a bottleneck. It's like tiptoeing under a cartoon animal that's been wobbling for hours and hoping today is not that day. Ironically, though, despite all the dangers, the bottleneck is still technically the easiest and fastest route to the summit. Climbing K2 isn't some inspirational bucket list moment. It's a multi-day argument with gravity in the middle of a blizzard while your legs are jelly and your brain's running on half a thought per hour. I feel like that's just imagining myself there. Man, climbers seem to be one of the bravest people on the planet. The next one is called Nanga Parbat, also located in Pakistan. Don't be tricked by a cool fantasy-like name because it's nicknamed Killer Mountain. It's the 9th highest peak in the world at over 26,600 feet, and it's earned a reputation for being one of the most technically challenging climbs on Earth. Its main feature is called Rupal Face. It's the tallest mountain face in the world, a mind-blowing wall of rock and ice that rises more than 15,000 vertical feet from base to summit. It's not just tall. It's almost completely vertical with sections that are brutally exposed, avalanche-prone, and constantly shifting from the base of the valley to the top of the summit. It's one continuous climb. No gentle slopes or places to catch your breath, just straight up. Imagine standing at the bottom and seeing a wall of a mountain stretching 3 miles into the sky. It's beautiful, but for me, it would be a nope moment. However, we have already established that climbers are fierce and smile in the face of challenge. For example, back in 1953, an Austrian climber, Hermann Buell, made history here by completing the first ever solo ascent of a 26,000-plus foot peak. And he did it without bottled oxygen. This remains the only instance in which a summit that high was reached by an individual climbing alone. That's not just brave, it's borderline superhuman. He even had to spend the night perched on a tiny icy ledge near the summit because he couldn't get back down before dark. Again, what made Nunga Parbat stand out isn't just the altitude, it's the isolation in the terrain. It's quiet, remote, and steep from almost every angle. The next one on the list of scary mountains I have for you today is Kanchenjunga. It's the third highest mountain on Earth at 28,169 feet. This one sits right on the border between Nepal and India and, funny enough, doesn't have a scary nickname. In fact, the locals consider the summit sacred. Many climbers stop just a few feet short out of respect, which is kind of poetic and also smart because the final stretch might as well be like walking a tightrope over a snow-covered trapdoor. It's not the worst, but it's definitely super dangerous. Visibility is really poor, and there may be hidden cornices hanging over nothing but thin air. Step too far to one side, and whoops, you could end up walking off the edge of a mountain disguised as a cloud. Something tells me that even W.Y. Coyote would find this scenario horrifying. And honestly, again, that just proves how gutsy these climbers really are. But here's something really cool. Kanchenjunga is home to its own version of Bigfoot. Locals call it the Kanchenjunga Demon. Explorers in the 20th century swore they saw a giant hairy creature wandering the slopes. Others claim to have found mysterious tracks way too big to be human. So, basically, while trying to reach the summit, you're balancing on a frozen beam 28,000 feet in the air, squinting through blinding snow, hoping your next step isn't your last and that Yeti won't find you. Another fun fact, Kanchenjunga used to be considered the tallest mountain on Earth until 1852 when someone with a theodolite and a lot of patience figured out that Everest was actually higher. That was a bad day for Kanchenjunga. Still, bronze medal in height, gold medal for mystique. But what about the one that has the gold medal in height? The most famous one, Mount Everest. At 2,932 feet, it's the highest point on Earth. It's so tall that the summit sticks into the jet stream. That means winds can hit over 100 miles per hour up there. But here's the thing. For all its altitude, Everest isn't actually the most technically difficult climb. In fact, thanks to modern gear, detailed routes, and, well, a whole crowd of people doing it every season, it's kind of become the world's most extreme bucket list item. Yep, at 26,000 feet, you might literally be stuck in line behind someone taking a selfie. In 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay became the first confirmed climbers to reach the summit, and that instantly turned Everest into a symbol of peak human achievement. Since then, thousands have tried to follow in their footsteps, some chasing glory, others chasing a once-in-a-lifetime thrill. But make no mistake, just because it's popular doesn't mean it's easy. Far from it, it's still very dangerous. The cold is brutal, the air is razor-thin, and the weather can flip in minutes. Frostbite, altitude sickness, crevices, falling ice, it's all on the menu. And up in the lethal zone, even basic tasks like clipping into a rope feel like slow-motion puzzles from a bad dream. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the Dark Core. Thanks for watching Dark Core.